This is my best of beauty of 2024. These are the products that I ride or die with. I can recommend with my entire soul. The products I've been using for years or I discovered this year and I have not stopped using. I cannot wait to share everything with you because you guys, this entire year I have not filmed a single favorites video, which is wild to me because for the last 10 years I've always filmed a monthly favorites, and it's crazy that I went a whole year without doing it. So I have a lot to catch you guys up on. So many new products I discovered this year. I was really confused on what I wanted to do with this yearly favorites just because I was looking at my 2023 favorites, which I'll leave in the cards and also down below. But I was looking at the list and honestly, a lot of it is still in today's video. So I was a bit worried that this was gonna sound a bit repetitive. I like to look back on these videos and see what I was using in that year and see how much my makeup has evolved in the products. So I'm kind of just going to be doing it how I've always done it, is just talk about the products that I've used the most in the year. Different creators like to approach it differently, but these are the products that I've used the most in the year because for me, yes, there is so many amazing products out there and a lot of products I do like. I'm only going to recommend something with my whole heart to you guys if I actually use it. And throughout the year when I do my reviews, I always like to refer to a product like this has been in my yearly favorites for 5 years in a row, for 6 years in a row. So it kind of gives it more value, you know what I mean? So hopefully you guys don't mind a more longer video. It might sound repetitive to some of you guys, but I kind of just like doing it this way. So hopefully you guys don't mind. It is going to be a long video, you guys. Again, I haven't done a favorites this year, so I have a lot to share, and when I'm talking about products I love, I can get a bit yappy. So it's gonna be a yap session today. So again, grab a drink. I have green tea and water here with me. Let's dive into my best of beauty of 2024. As you guys probably know by now, I always like to talk in order of application. It just works better in my mind getting through all the products because again, we have a lot to get through. But the start of my makeup application starts with my contacts. So I'm going to talk about some of my favorite contacts that I've loved this year. I feel like I've kind of shifted my preference a little bit in the type of contacts I do like. So first starting off with what I was really loving at the start of the year, and also I'm currently wearing it right now, but it is from Moody lenses. I love the style Cocoa Gleam, which that's what I'm wearing currently, and they have the same style in Misty Roses, which is a mauvey purplish kind of color. It's very subtle, but it's the same style just in a different color. I love these two. It's a smaller diameter, so it's not super enlarging, but it just gives your eyes that little extra oomph. So I feel like if you are just getting into contact lenses, you don't want something enlarging, you don't want something that has a big pattern or a strong color, I would recommend Cocoa Gleam or Misty Roses. These are like very beginner friendly. They're not overwhelming. I think if you were to start off with something super enlarging, you're going to get freaked out for sure. I've been wearing them throughout the year. One of my favorite styles from Moody lenses. I've been really enjoying this. It's a favorite. I actually just wore my last pair today, so I need to get more backups of this for sure. Also from Moody lenses, I've also enjoyed this style. It's called White Peach Oolong. This one is a little bit different from the first two I recommended. This one is still a little bit smaller, but the pattern is a little bit more striking. I would say if you are looking for the perfect like Douyin type of lens, this is it, because this has a really strong outer border, so it really defines your eyes, and the color is a really nice like grayish taupe, and it's always so pretty every time I wear it. And I discovered this style this year and I absolutely love it, so I wanted to recommend this to you guys. If you're looking for like a very Douyin type of lens, this is it. And then I would say probably from like May to September-ish, I was on an Olens kick. Olens was like the first brand of contact lenses that I've used, and it's one of my favorites. I love their styles. In April, I loved Midnight Brown. I actually took that lens with me to Korea and I wore that my entire trip, so I really love it. I'm actually out of stock right now, so I can't show it to you physically here, but I absolutely love that style. It's another one that's very subtle, but I really love the color. Even though it's a brown on me, it almost shifts a little bit taupey, and I really like that tone. And it's slightly enlarging as well. And then actually more recently on my LA trip in November, so towards the later half of the year. I really love the Spanish circle, the bigger version of the Spanish. So I've always loved the original Spanish, but I really grown to like the circle. I like how big and enlarging it is and how it makes my eyes look so googly. I wore that my entire LA trip. But what made me really love bigger lenses, because I've always said that I don't like super enlarging lenses, I like something with a smaller diameter, and that's still true, but I think these days I have a more appreciation for a bigger lens, because for me, in my opinion, I feel like my eyes stand out the most on my face, so I want my eyes to stand out more. So enlarging lenses really help with that, right? It makes my eyes look more googly and dolly. I got these last year in 2023. These are Molar. These are Japanese lenses. So Moody lenses is Chinese, Olens is Korean, Molar is Japanese. And I will say that these are the most comfortable. I would rank Molar being the most comfortable, Olens being the second, Moody lenses being third. Moody lenses has the most variety of styles, but I think I like Olens' style more. Like I like more of their styles, whereas Molar, I've only tried 3 of their styles, but all 3 of these have been very enlarging, and I wore these again for a video and I fell in love with them. I'm like, wow, my eyes look so cute when I wore it, especially the style Dark Peony. I actually did finish that now, so I'm left with these 2 styles, which aren't like my favorite style, but because these are so comfy, I really wanted to recommend them as well. I've been loving these lenses, and it kind of like made me fall in love with like more enlarging lenses. I think it just suits my makeup style and like my style in general. I've been loving these, and those are all the contacts that I've been loving throughout the year. My makeup would not be makeuping without my contact lenses, so I had to make it its own category. Now onto the actual makeup, starting off with primer. I only have one. It's the Tietia Mask Fit Tone Up Essence. This has SPF 30 PA++. So this is like a tinted type of sunscreen, but I love it as a primer. I feel like the way it evens out my skin tone and preps my skin for foundation. I always get such a flawless base every time I use this. I mean, and it's also lasted me for a year, considering I use this like literally every single time I do my makeup, and it's still here. Says a lot. A little does go a long way. I already got a backup when I was in Korea. I went to the Tietia store and I bought a backup of this because I'm like, yeah, no, my makeup does not look the same when I don't use this, so I always have to have it. Already have a backup ready for the new year because I'm sure this is going to be finishing soon. For cushion foundation, I feel like a broken record, but it is the Unleashia Healthy Green Satin Cushion. I wear 23W Bisque. I'm the most comfortable in this cushion, and I think this came out in 2021, right? So it's been my favorite since 2021. So 2 years in a row, this has been my favorite cushion. They actually released a baby blue cushion, which in the beginning, when I first used the baby blue, I loved it and I thought it bit the green. But the more I use the baby blue, because that one's a more mattifying cushion, which I do like to be matte, I found it to be a little bit drying, even on my oily skin. So I always just go back to the green. The green is just my favorite. It's a classic. It's just the perfect coverage. It's the perfect finish. It's not super high coverage, you know, so if you're looking for that, I have an option for you. But this is like light to medium. But I like that because it looks like my skin. I want my skin to look like skin. Even though, yes, it's foundation, it's gonna look a bit heavy, but this just looks so good on the skin. The finish is perfect. It's like a satin to matte. Absolutely perfect. I love this so much. I love the packaging of it, how it's very sanitary. I love the puff that it comes with. It's just the whole package for me. But I wanted to recommend you guys another one that I really been loving. However, I only started using this in like late October till now, so definitely in the last half of the year, but I've used this so much already that I can fully recommend it to you guys because I love it so much. So this cushion is going to give you the full coverage. Like if you want full coverage, filter looking base, this is it. So this is the Florasis Flawless Jade Breathable Longwear Cushion Foundation. I'm going in 30 Bathing Beauty. So the biggest downside to this cushion is the shade range. This is the darkest color, N30, and N30 usually does go a little bit darker when you look at other cushion lines, but this is very light. Florasis, you guys have like such a good formula. come out with more shades, it's gonna be a banger because this looks so flawless on the skin. Even though the coverage is super high, it doesn't look heavy, it doesn't look cakey on the skin. It's literally what I wanted the Tear Mask Fit Red Cushion to be. The Mask Fit Red Cushion from Tear, super viral, super iconic, but for me, yes, although the coverage is there, over time it looks very cakey. It looks so heavy on the skin, and some people don't mind that, but personally I do. This one, yes, it does look heavier. Like, it's not gonna look like the Unleashia, but for the coverage you are getting, it looks flawless and it lasts all day. I wore this to the 17 concert, I wore this to another concert. Like, it is beautiful. What can I say? It's literally a filter on your skin. I'm obsessed. I recommend these two. I'm glad I have it going with me into 2025. Now onto concealers. I'm sure a lot of you guys can guess the first concealer. It is, again, the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. Currently, I'm using the shade Almond. However, once I finish this, I do want to get another shade because I do think this is too yellow and a bit too dark for me. But the formula on this, you guys, how many years in a row? Can someone count for me how many years? I think I first discovered this in maybe 2018. It is now 2024. I'm going on 6 years of loving this concealer. Time after time, I've tried so many new concealers. No concealer for me will ever top this one. And I know some people don't like this concealer, but for me, I love how creamy it is and I love the coverage. The coverage is very, very high, but even though the coverage is high, it doesn't look heavy or cakey on the skin. That's what I'm saying, guys. I know makeup is gonna look like makeup on the skin, okay? It's not gonna look like you have nothing on, but for the coverage of this, it's so amazing. It blends so well as well. Every time like I take a break from this concealer and I try something else, I try a different technique, and then I come back to this, I'm always reminded why I love this concealer so much, because it never fails. It always hits. They do have a really good shade range as well. Like, this, for me, is just the concealer. Like, I feel like these two, like, I can't go anywhere else. But I do have like some more newer favorites that I want to recommend to you guys. So this one I did talk about last year. I discovered it last year, been using it all throughout this year. It is from the brand called The Same. So it comes with a green, a salmon, and a skin tone color. I use all three. The green is really good for redness. I actually do get a lot of redness. I do have this rash in summertime. I think it's like a sweat rash. So I need that green to cover up that redness, and it does such an amazing job. The salmon color is great for my under eyes, for my dark circle, and the skin tone color as well. It's so creamy, has amazing coverage, looks so good on the skin. It's also really highly ranked in Olive Young as well. So this one has been my favorite throughout the year, 100%. But I've also been loving another product from the same brand, The Same. So this is their Cover Perfection Concealer Pencil. This one, I think it came as a free gift with this when I purchased. I don't know. This was somehow in my collection, but I was like, let me use it, right? This literally looks like an eyeliner kohl pencil. It doesn't look like a concealer pencil, but the reason why I love this so much is because it is in a pencil. Where the hollows of my under eyes are, I literally just draw a line on it very, very slightly, and this has that intense coverage like we have seen with the pot, and I feel like this has done the best job of concealing my really dark hollow under eyes. I know on camera it doesn't look like I have any dark circles, but when I look down you can see that hollowness, that darkness there. This has been such a hidden gem because I feel like from this brand, and their liquid concealer is the most popular, but this I feel like I haven't heard anyone talk about. I wish it was just a little bit creamier because you do need to warm it up on the back of your hand. Now let's move on to cream products, starting off with cream contour. So for the most part of the year I was using the M Cosmetics So Soft Contour Stick in Terra. This has been my favorite for years, ever since this launch. I think this launched in 2021 as well, or 2022, but I've been using it since then. It's my favorite cream contour because the formula is super creamy, so it makes it really easy to blend. The color is very neutral, like it's not too cool, not too warm. I love this on my jawline. Super easy to blend, just no fuss about this. I've been using this for years. But in the later half of the year, I would say maybe from October till now, I've been using the Tag Multi Contour Stick, and I've been really liking this one just because it's in a different format. It's in a little pen, so it's really easy to contour your nose and be a little bit more accurate with the placement, especially for contouring my nose. And the formula on this is really easy to blend as well, but it's not super pigmented, so it's not going to give you something super harsh, whereas the Cosmetics one, it's not harsh, but these are a lot more pigmented than this. So I've been going between both, honestly, and I've been enjoying both of these. Then for my cream blush, when you guys see the panning on this, yes, panning. I've already panned this product within 1 year of having it. That's how much I love these products. But it's from the Little Angel collection from Flower Nose that launched in January this year. These two shades specifically have been my absolute favorite. So first up, we have number 2, Floral Praise, which is the color that I'm wearing today. This is a really pretty, like, warm, bright pink. It's so perfect for spring, summer, but honestly, I've been wearing it all year round. I love this color because it just gives so much life into my skin. So this color is beautiful, but the formula is just something else. You guys know me, I don't really like cream blushes because a lot of them end up looking really patchy on me, but with this I have had no issues. The pigmentation on this is really high, but it's very blendable, so you can get something a little bit more intense, or you can blend it out and make it a little bit more subtle. There have been times where I've gone a little bit overboard with this bright blush specifically, and I have had blush blindness, but the formula is insane. My favorite cream blush, period. Pigmented, blendable, doesn't look patchy, just everything I want, and beautiful packaging as well. So the other shade I really like is number 4, Rose Ashes. This one's like a really pretty, like, pink mauve. It's a little bit more neutral, almost cool tone. This one's not as bright as the first one, so it depends on what I'm wanting. If I'm wanting something bright and cutesy, I'll go for Floral Praise, but if I want something a little bit more toned down and a little bit more subtle, I'll go for Rose Ashes, and I love both. As you guys can see, both of them have really crazy panning. I will say it's a bit easier to pan on these because it is a cream product, but still, the panning says a lot. I absolutely love these two blushes, my favorites. I really hope in 2025 they'll come out with more cream blushes and have more shades. Now it's time to set all of that in place. These are my favorite loose powders. The first one, it's not going to be a surprise. It is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Setting Powder, specifically in the shade Lavender. I'm using it today on my skin, and every time I use it, I just love how my skin looks and mattifies. It blurs. The lavender is not too strong, so it does give a really nice, like, brightening effect. I think this is my third tub or second tub. When I went LA, I got a backup of this because in New Zealand this specific shade has been sold out for so long, so I just knew once I'm done with this I just have to get it again. You know what I mean? It's just my favorite loose powder. But I will say I have discovered a lot of good Chinese loose powders. First off, their packaging has been so good, because with this you can see how messy it is, but with Chinese powders, the way they package it makes it that none of the powder comes loose. But I will say as of recently, I've been really enjoying the Flower Nose loose powder from this Swan Ballet collection. I've been using number 1, which is the pink. Whenever I do like a pinky look, I will go in with this powder because although it's pink, it's very subtle, but it has that brightening effect that the pink does. If I'm going to do like my normal daily, like, sort of warm tone makeup, I'll go in with lavender, but if I'm going to be doing like a pinky or cooler tone makeup look, I'll go in with the pink. Absolutely love it. These two have been my faves, my staples. Love. But then if we were to talk about press powder, I've been using the same one since last year. I actually did finish it and then I got a refill, but it is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Press Powder in number 2 medium. So I'll set my face with a puff with the loose powder under my eyes and my T-zone where I'm most oily and where I have the most creases, and then on the outer perimeter of my face I'll go in with this powder on a fluffy brush. So it's not like I use a lot of this, but it's just a classic. I honestly could really use any pressed powder, to be honest, and that will do the job, but I've been just really loving this one. So this one is like, I like it, it's the one I've used the most, but I think there's a lot of pressed powders out there that you could use and it will do the same thing. However, I do want to mention this one from Hourglass. This is their Vanish Airbrush Press Powder. I use the shade Translucent. So this one actually has been my touch-up powder. This is the powder that I will take with me into my bag wherever I go. Like, this is always in my purse. I feel like it does a really great job with retouching but without adding on that cakiness, because sometimes I feel like when you add on powder throughout the day, it can look a little bit heavy, it can bunch up, but this doesn't. I have used this as a setting powder as well, and that looks really beautiful too, but just this has been my like compact that I take with me in my bag every single time. So ever since I got this in PR, it's been in my bag ever since, and I absolutely love it. Funny story with this, but on my friend's hen's night, all the girls wanted a little bit of touch up, and I guess I'm the only one that carries a touch-up powder, and everybody was using it and they loved it. So I think a few of the girls did like end up purchasing this, or it's on their wish list to purchase. So if the girls love it, the girls love it. And then for setting spray, I've been loving this one since April. It's from a brand called So Natural. It's the All Day Tight Makeup Setting Fix. This one is very popular in K-beauty. First off, the packaging, it's pink. I love it already, but it's in like an aerosol can. And before this, I've loved the Morphe setting mist because the mist is so fine, but I feel like this mist is even finer. It's so fine, it's so refreshing to apply on, but I feel like my makeup really does last longer when I use this. So I've been loving this. I'm almost out of my first bottle. I feel like I've been trying not to use it as much because I'm just trying to like savor it, trying to go through my other setting sprays, but for sure this one comes on top in 2024. A really great discovery this year. But now let's talk about brows, starting off with eyebrow pencils. So the first one I don't actually have on me right now because I did finish it up, but it is the Alicia brow pencil. I really love that one because the tip is so micro. It's probably one of the thinnest eyebrow pencils I've ever used, and if you know anything about me, you know I love a micro brow pencil because I don't have brow hairs. I need to be very precise with how I do apply my brows, because if I go too thick, it's game over. So I really love that. It's just right now I have so many brow pencils that I want to go through that I haven't repurchased it, but once I go through all the brow pencils in my current collection, I definitely will be repurchasing. However, there's one brow pencil that I do have on me that I've also been loving as well. This is from M Cosmetics. It's the Fine Liner Brow Pencil. What I really love about this brow pencil is definitely the shape of it. So most brow pencils are in a circle, right? But this brow pencil is horizontal. So the way I like to do my brows is that I always like to map out the baseline of my brows. So I usually go with the brow pencil, do the baseline first, but having a horizontal brow pencil, it makes it so easy because I'm just like sweeping it and the base is there. Not only I love the shape, but the formula is really nice as well. It's not too waxy. I don't like a brow pencil that's too waxy because for me that can look a little bit patchy. This is perfect. So this is a more expensive brow pencil, but I love it. So this one has been a favorite of the year for sure. In terms of brow powder, I do have two this year. So of course you guys know me, I've been using the ABH brow powder duo since literally high school. Not this one specifically since high school. I did change it out because I'm like, girl, you cannot use the same brow powder for like 10 years. Even though it's not irritating you, it is 100% expired. So I did change it, I think last year or the year before, I don't know when, but I changed it. So I'm using this one. I've used it for most of the year, right? But that one is a classic. ABA, can never go wrong with this. But Flower Nose actually came out with a eyebrow powder palette this year, and I've been really enjoying this too. So this one is a #1, and I've been using a mixture of the medium and darker tone. I really like this. This one is not as powdery. I've been liking a more like softer brow. I know you can't really see my brows because I've had my bangs for like 2 years now, but I kind of liking them a little bit more softer, and I feel like this helps achieve it a little bit better than the ABH. So I kind of just go between the two, honestly, depending on my mood, but these are the ones that I've been using for the most part of the year. So those were the eyebrows. Let's talk about eyeshadow. Starting off with eye primer. I wouldn't say that this one is my favorite eye primer ever, but it's literally the eye primer that I've been using the entire year, and it's very affordable because it is from JUDY doll. The reason why I really like this eye primer is because it does a really light job of just like concealing the darkness on my lid space. It is a very thin formula, and I use a little bit of it, and I feel like it does help my eyeshadow not crease. So I feel like it does a good job, you know what I mean? But I feel like I could also just use my concealer and it would do the same thing. So that's why I'm not really recommending this with my entire soul. But hey, I've been using it for the whole year. If it was really, really bad, I wouldn't be using it. So this is the eye primer that I've been using all 2024. And then if we were to talk about eyeshadow palettes, of course I have to mention my collaboration with Odin's Eye that launched in February of this year. This is Spring Dragon for the year of the dragon, which is crazy that this year has gone by already. But this was my second collab with Odin's Eye, and thank you guys so much if you did purchase this collection. I truly do appreciate it. This is like my second baby. It has all the pretty pastel colors, and this is such a fun palette to play with. I really did enjoy creating this, enjoy doing the looks that I did with it. It is still available. We still have quite a lot of stock, I believe, but it's not going to be around forever. Once we are finished, we are finished. So grab it while you can. This was just like my little second baby, my second child. I can't believe this happened this year because it just felt so long ago, but I'm so proud of it and I love it so much, and I hope you guys, if you did get it as well, you love it too. But you know, I have to just mention my own palette, which is crazy. It's wild to say. But then for my other favorite palettes, they both come from Flower Nose, which is no surprise. I love their eyeshadow formula. The mattes are very soft, pigmented, easy to blend. The shimmers shine like no other. They have so much little micro glitters in it. Like, these are worth to purchase. I know they're a bit more expensive, but you get packaging, you get formula, like you get the quality. So these are my two favorites. This one I did mention last year as well. It's from their Strawberry Rococo collection in number 2, Sweet Cannelli. As you can see, I've hit pan on 2 of the colors. I think next year I'll probably be hitting pan on this third matte here, but I absolutely love it. This is a little bit more warmer, and in 2024 actually I did get my color analysis, and I am actually a summer nude, summer soft. This one is a little bit warm, but I feel like it's not super rich warm, you know, it's like a little bit more warmish, neutral leaning. But regardless, I love this palette. I take it with me to travel. It's just like my go-to palette. I love these shades. This one's a little bit newer. This one did launch in 2024. It's from the Midsummer Fairy Tales collection, and this one I love as well. This one's a lot more neutral than Sweet Cannelli's. It's a almost cool tone leaning, but I wouldn't say it's super cool because you still have like some warmth to it. So as you can see, I've already hit pan on this matte white. I love this matte white for my inner corners and my egg yolk style, but these two on the side here is the perfect like neutral brown. It's not super cool tone, but it's not super warm. I love these two, and this darker like grayish black has been the perfect darker color to smudge out and wing out. I don't really use the center shade as much just because I don't actually use a lot of shimmers on my eyes if I'm talking about like day to day. So I've been loving the mattes in here. These are like my favorite palettes, like these two together. Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss, I love these two. My favorite. Now for eyeliners, it's pretty similar to last year. I feel my favorite pencil gel type liner is of course the Can Make Creamy Touch eyeliner. I've been talking about this eyeliner. This is the best creamy gel liner because first off, it's super pigmented. Because of the texture, it's very smooth and easy to glide in your tight line. This won't transfer. I've only had one issue with the black, that it does transfer sometimes on the inner corner here, but it's an easy fix, so this one will not budge at all. The only downside to this is that because it's so creamy, you go through it so quick. Then if we were to talk about liquid liners, so what I'm actually using to create my wing, I feel like there's just so many great ones out there, and I have a lot in my collection, so I really just choose whatever depending on the day. But I will say that these are probably my most used. First off, the Judy Doll Slim Liquid Liner. It is popular for a reason. The tip is very thin, so easy to create a wing. The formula is great, pigmented, doesn't skip, so love this. Very affordable. In a similar sense, I really love the Flower Nose liquid liners as well. These are not as thin as the Judy Doll, but regardless, it's still very easy to draw my wing, so it just depends on what I can grab, what I see in my messy drawers. I'll grab it. These are amazing. Love it. Would recommend. Next category is egg yolk style, and essentially what that is just like your under eye bag. In Asian makeup, this is very popular to contour and highlight to give a more cutesy and more opened eye look. For me personally, I have like a love-hate relationship with egg yolk style because I think one, it does look really cute, but two, it only looks good in my personal opinion on camera. So I only usually do egg yolk style when I'm filming. if I'm going out, typically I won't do this just because I have a lot of fine lines underneath my eyes, and I feel like when I do contour my under eye bag, it can look more... I can look really aged because I'm kind of like emphasizing those fine lines. So it looks good on camera and photos, but I feel like in person it's not as cute. But I do have some key products that I do love for this little step. So to contour, I did mention I really like that white powder in the Midsummer Fairy Tales palette from Flower Nose, but I also love these little highlight powders from Florette. So I have it in number 1 and number 3. There is also a lavender, but number 1 is like a creamy vanilla white. I use this one quite a lot, and then number 3 is more of like a milky pale pink. I use this when I do more cooler looks or when I want the egg yolk not to look as brightened. These are very pigmented matte highlighters, so it's really gonna bring forward the under eye bag, and the formula is great on these. So it's really nice to have like its own separate powder in a single format. And then to contour the under eye, I've been loving the CPCP liner. So this literally looks like a liquid liner, but it's very thin and it's not as pigmented as a liquid liner. I would say it's more like tinted. So when you do contour underneath your eye bag, it's not as noticeable, and because the line is very thin, it doesn't look muddy either. So these two I have been loving together for my little egg yolk style. Again, I don't really do anything too crazy. Now for mascaras, these two have been my ultimate favorites throughout the year. So carrying on from last year, you guys know I love this one from Oprah. It's the My Lash mascara. It's a Japanese brand. This one is just I cannot. This one, like, I feel like is a mascara that it can't be topped in my opinion. First off, I love this little skinny wand. It makes it so easy to apply onto my really thin and sparse lashes, but this gives so much texture and length. The only downside to this is that it's not waterproof, so in summer months when I do get a little bit more sweaty, it can transfer onto my lid. But other than that, like, I feel like if there was a waterproof version to this, which I wouldn't be surprised if there is, I'm just not searching for it, that would be absolutely perfect. But other than that, this makes your lashes look so incredibly good. It has such a good grip to the lashes as well. I love this. But then for my new discovery of 2024 is the Judy Doll Iron Wand mascara. It's the mascara that has the metal wand. This went super viral this year and I've been loving it. I love this more so as a base. If you're looking for a mascara that's going to really separate and lengthen your lashes, then this is it. This is going to give you no clumps at all whatsoever. So again, if you don't really like a clumpy mascara, this is perfect. It's really great for like natural days. I will say it doesn't give a lot of texture to the lashes, but I love using this as a base and then going in with a mascara like this on top. It's literally the perfect combo. But this little skinny wand, it makes it so easy to apply. It really just lengthens out your lashes. It's amazing and it's very affordable as well. So these two I love and adore. These are my favorite mascaras, although I haven't been using them that much as of recent just because I have gone back to wearing false lashes. For the past 2 years, I've been on a lash lift grind. Like every month I was getting a lash lift and I loved it, but I feel like over time my lashes were getting more sparse than they were, and I just didn't love the look of them when I did like glam looks. So I'm back to false lashes, and that's where the next category is going to go. I feel like I did have a lot of favorites, but I will say just overall the brand House of Lashes have my favorite lashes because they just give the volume, they just give the length, they just look so good on my eyes. Okay, I've tried a lot of more like Asian style lashes, but I feel like for those, they don't give the drama that I'm looking for. They don't really show up on my eyes either. They look too natural. So I've been really loving House of Lashes. I really like their like coffee line. It's the one in the brown packaging. My favorite style is mocha, but I did actually have to throw my pair out because I was reusing them a little too much and they were looking a little musty crusty. But I love the style mocha. I'm wearing the style latte for the first time today and I really do like these as well. They have a nice flare at the end, but the nice thing about this specific line with the brown packaging is that it has a mix of brown and black lashes, so it looks very natural as long false lashes can look. These I've been really loving. I also love this style from this line with the green packaging in Love and Light. This one gives such good definition to the eyes. I love this. These are not as long as the coffee ones, but I've been really loving that. I mean, House of Lashes has always been like my favorite lash brand, so it really isn't a surprise here. But I'm slowly getting back into lashes, so if there's any lash brand you guys want to recommend to me, I'm open to them. I really am. So let me know down below. And that was actually everything for the eyes. We're now gonna go back onto complexion and talk about the cheeks. Speaking about contour, powder contour, same as last year, it is the Flower Nose Chocolate Wonder Shop contour. They did come out the new one this year, but this one just has been my favorite for a very long time. I think for the past 2 years now. As you can see, I've hit pan on 3 out of 4 shades. I just really love how buttery and powdery this formula is. I don't really do too much with contour. I just take a fluffy brush, go on my jawline, a little bit on my nose, but it's nothing very intense. I really don't contour as much. Maybe I should a little bit more, okay? But I really don't. But this has been my favorite powder formula for this. I just love Flower Nose's powder formula. It's just so buttery. The pan speaks for itself. I feel like I don't need to say more on that, because now we're going to talk about my favorite blushes. It's hard to pick blushes because I feel like I go through phases, but for sure, hands down, my favorite blushes again come from Flower Nose. I love their powder formula. I love their cream formula, but the powder formulas are my favorite, so I'm still loving this one. I think I mentioned this last year as well, maybe the year before too. This one is an Unripe Peach, and as you can see from the pan, I have been loving this blush. I'm actually wearing it today on top of Floral Praise, and I feel like my cheeks just look so good. It has the perfect peachy pink flush. The powder formulas are very pretty. They have this like blurring effect to them that it makes your cheeks look so smooth. The perfect amount of pigment as well. So I've been loving this one still. New one that I discovered again from the Midsummer Fairy Tales collection. This one is in number 3. This one's actually kind of similar to Unripe Peach, but it has a little bit more pink. This one's like a pinky peach, where this one is a peachy pink. You get the difference there. But this one I've been loving as well. It's probably my most used Flower Nose powder blush from their latest collections. This one is super pretty. Been loving this one as well. To talk about some other blushes, this one from Dasic I've been loving too. So this one I mostly use these bottom 2 shades, mostly the lavender. I will use a bit of this on a bigger blush to just sort of blend out my blush. I'm using it today as well. I'm using like 3 different blushes on my cheeks, but I'll use this to like sort of do the outer perimeter, just to have that more blended look, and the lavender really helps to blend it with everything else on my face, especially this with my like lavender powder too. This is perfect. I love a little good blush palette. This one has been my favorite. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be hitting pan on this very soon because I can literally see the pans almost coming out. And then I actually have like a satin blush recommendation for you guys, which is so crazy because for me, I love a matte blush. Like I'm a matte girl through and through and through, but this one took me by surprise and I love it. I adore it. I already love this formula, but this is a new shade that came out in 2024. So this is from Cosmetics. It's their Heaven's Glow blush. If you remember, I used to love Faded Clementine when I was a warm tone girly. Love it. This is the cool tone girly version, I feel. It's very pinky, but it has this like ultraviolet reflection and sheen to it. It literally makes your cheeks look like it's glowing. And you guys, I have no highlighter category in my 2024 favorites. I haven't for a while. This is going to give you like a beautiful sheen on the cheeks. So if you're like me and you don't like highlighter, but you want a little bit of glow, I remember the first time I wore this, I went on a TikTok live. All the comments was like, what is your blush? What is your blush? Every time I wear this blush, I'm always getting comments like, what is your blush? This blush is stunning, you guys. And seriously, it's so ethereal. It's so beautiful. It's such a pretty blush. So this one definitely probably is my favorite Heaven's Glow blush from Cosmetics. Now we are finally on to lips. This is a bigger category. I do have a lot of lippy favorites. Kind of have to break it down throughout like the year and my transition and when I loved all these products, but we do have to go back to February when I did come out with my collection with Odin's Eye. Not only did we have Spring Dragon, but we also had like Spring Dragon lippies, and genuinely I had been using these throughout the year. Even before it launched, I was using the testers. So we came out with 3 shades, 2 gloss and 1 matte. I think the most popular definitely has been Dahlia, which is a beautiful red gloss, but it doesn't come off super pigmented. It will give your lips like such a pretty jelly look. And then we have Buttercup, which is a little bit more peachy orange. I feel like these two as a combo is really pretty for like a gradient lip look. And then finally we have Tulips, which is the matte. Now this is actually my most used. It is a little bit of a drying formula. I didn't have any say in the formula, I only had the say in the color, but it's a really easy formula to work with. If you really do blot it down with a brush, it's really comfortable. But the color, okay, I'm not being biased, but genuinely this color, if you are a cool tone girl, this is the color, because I love this kind of like brighter pink, but a lot of the brighter pinks I have are very warm. Tulips is that cooler bright pink, and it's so pretty as a gradient all over. It has been my go-to. I pretty much wore this my entire trip in Korea, in LA as well. Like I use this all the time, and I do have backups up there that I'm like, I'm not gonna use. I can't. I have to have like one that hasn't been opened. But these are my favorites, and I love the packaging. They're just so spring and just so pretty. And I can't believe like I got to create like lip colors. That is such a bucket list thing for me. This year has honestly been so crazy. This was such a dream, and I love all 3 colors. I really do. So yeah. Of course, had to mention my other little babies. But then we go into April, and April was the month that I went to Korea. I got my color analysis done. I bought a lot of makeup there. But while I was getting my color analysis done, they actually sell lip tints according to your season. So these were really affordable as well. It wasn't expensive. It was around, I think, 15 New Zealand dollars. So I did pick up the lip tint that was catered to my season, which is a summer, and I was literally using this from April until now. I've been using this so much. It's almost finished, you guys. Me applying it, there's not much product left. It's actually a lot more pigmented, but the color, again, I found it very flattering. This is like a bright pink, but you can see that cool undertone to it. It is beautiful, and I love the formula. It was very comfortable on the lips as well. So this one, I mean, I got it in April. It's pretty much finished already. I was using this like literally every single time I went out. I loved it. So that was like for the most of the year. But to stick on K-Beauty, I've been really loving this lip balm from Swell Horseshoe. So this is in number 370 Peony. So it's like a tinted lip balm. I actually keep this one in my handbag whenever my lips get really dry throughout the day, because whenever I go out and I'm just yapping away with my friends, I get really thirsty and my lips get really dry. I'll reapply this, and it's the most beautiful My Lips But Better type of color. Even when I have no makeup on, this on my lips just brings back life to my face, seriously, and I look like a normal human again. The formula is really nice. It's not too slippery, it's not too glossy. It's like a no fuss type of product that you throw in your bag. It's hydrating, it gives that color. So I've been really loving this. This is always in my purse. I also really love the Basic Fruity Lip Jam, specifically in number 7. You can see I have hit pan on this, but it's a really pretty color, number 7 specifically. Whenever I'm going out with no makeup on, I feel like I just need a little bit of a tint on my lips. I will apply this. It has a really pretty glossy finish and like juicy, plumping look. The Swell Horseshoe lip balm is not glossy. It's more like satin finish. So I'm always using one of these two. I think they just look so good on the lips. It's very hydrating, and it just brings back life to my face. So these two I absolutely love and adore. These two are more so towards the end of the year. The Tear lip oil is my favorite lip oil. I don't know if it's because of the chubby one, but it's so soothing to apply it on the lips, and the formula, I wouldn't say like glossy in terms of like stickiness, but it's almost like water that you're applying to your lip. I love the Tear lip oil. It's literally my favorite. I finished this up way too quick. This gloss has had me on a chokehold. I literally only started using this recently. I've had this since April, but only recently I've discovered how amazing of a gloss this is. This is from Cologram. It's their Pearl Gloss. And let me tell you guys, if you want your lips to look like literal glass, apply this on top of anything, literally anything. It will make your lips look so slippery. Your lip lines are gone. Like this will blur out, like gloss over your lip lines. Beautiful, beautiful gloss. And then for the last lip favorites is what I'm actually currently wearing. This again is more of a recent favorite. I got this collection in September, October, so towards the later half, but I've been loving these. It's from Flower Nose. It's their glossy lipsticks. I have it in CO4 and CO5, and as you can see on my lips, it's that jelly type of lipstick where it has that pigment, but it also has that glossy shine. It makes your lips look so plump, and these two shades are the perfect pink. It's so comfortable on the lips. It makes your lips look very juicy. I've been obsessed with this formula. It's been on my vanity, just sitting there. I've been loving it. I guess to finish off on makeup, I want to talk about a few like little tools that I've been loving. I do want to film like an updated like favorite brush video. I'll talk about these. These are not brushes. These are just little puffs that I really want to shout out because changed my makeup game for sure. I've been loving the spatula still. I think I want to mention that. It wasn't originally on my list, but now I'm thinking about it. The spatula, still using every day, still love it. That's a fave. So let's add that in real quick. I've been also loving just like a thicker puff. Now you can get these from AliExpress. You can get it from a brand like Philly Millie off Olive Young, but just a more bigger, more plump puff. I've been loving this to apply my cushion foundations in. It just blends in so much more quicker, and it really presses in the product as well. So I've been really loving this, and like has such a good blend. Love these. These little mini puffs from Flower Nose, their little powder puff I've been sleeping on. I've only rediscovered these recently and I've been loving it. The texture is so soft and the way it presses in the powder is beautiful. So I would recommend their little powder puffs, but I would also recommend these little powder puffs, very similar to the bigger one that I just recommended, but the smaller one from Flower Nose is perfect with the cream blush, you guys. This is the key to the cream blush. Like the way this presses in, oh, it's beautiful. It's flawless. I can't even explain it, you guys. Like, you just gotta trust me. Get these little powder puffs. So those were all the makeup. I do have a few new categories that I wanted to add in. First one being is hair. So my favorite shampoo and conditioner of the year definitely has been the Deep Damage shampoo and treatment. Those two I've been loving. I've actually used one whole bottle of each completely, and they just have been my favorite. So I've been using that pretty much since April, so almost all year round. The shampoo has a really good lather. I feel like my hair doesn't feel stripped, but it feels clean. And then with the conditioner, I mean, it's more of a treatment, but it's super thick. My hair always feels super soft, something like you would get at a salon, that kind of soft, and you get that every time at home. So I've been loving those two as a combo. Been using that all year round, but genuinely the reason why I wanted to add this whole category in is because of this one specific product. This is actually a very popular hair product in JUDY. It's one of the things that people will always recommend you to get when you go to Japan. Essentially, it is like a hair wax. People mostly use this for their flyaways where it's super easy to use like that, but I don't use it for that specifically. I want to do a bangs tutorial. I keep getting asked about this. I don't feel like my bangs always look perfect, but this definitely has helped. Essentially what I'll do, I'll take a little bit on my fingertip, little bit, rub it with my thumb, and I'll use this on my bangs to get rid of any of the frizziness and sort of to clump my bangs together for a more polished look. I've been doing this since the beginning of the year. I'm sure other people do this too, but I've seen people use oil to get rid of like the frizziness. I feel like oil is too heavy. It weighs down your hair, and if you have oily hair already, like oil is just too oily. A wax, you only use a little bit of amount and it does the job. And ever since I started doing this, I do feel like my bangs have been looking so much better. So it's all thanks to this little hair wax. You don't have to get this. You could use any wax really, but you just don't need a lot of it, and it will just get rid of all that frizziness. And then to wrap up on the favorites, I want to talk about my favorite perfumes, because every year I like to have like a dedicated perfume that I use for the whole year. So that way when I re-smell that certain perfume, it will take me back to that year specifically. But I feel like 2024, I didn't set myself to have like a specific perfume, because my favorite perfume of all time, and just a perfume I spray all year round, is the Chanel No. 5. This is my favorite ever. I love the powdery baby powder scent that it has, and it's always my go-to, so I spray this all year round. But I have been a little bit more seasonal with my perfumes, or more like mood-like with my perfumes. So whenever I'm wearing more of like a girly outfit or like a spring summer outfit, I will spray the Jo Malone Nectarine Blossom and Honey. This was my 2019 perfume, so whenever I do sniff this, it does bring me back to 2019. But now I've been spraying this more as my spring summer girly type of scent. It smells so good, you guys. This just smells so refreshing. Like, it's a breath of fresh air. It's not a popular one from Jo Malone, I feel, but it's my favorite from Jo Malone. And then whenever I'm feeling a little bit more edgy, like I'm wearing all black or I'm wearing like a leather jacket, I've been spraying the Tambourines Chamo. When I got this in Korea, honestly, I just got it because they told me this is Tambourine's signature scent. So I'm like, okay, give me the OG of OG. There's like a sort of musky freshness to it, and it's just giving me like a more like edgy vibe. When I don't know what to spray, I'll spray No. 5 if I'm feeling a little bit more edgy. Tambourines Chamo when I'm feeling a little bit more girly and spring summer like. It's the Jo Malone Nectarine Blossom. But I will say the perfume that I get complimented on the most, it always is a Le Labo scent. And the funny thing is, the only Le Labo perfume I have are their city exclusives. So last year when I went to Japan, I got the Gaiac 10. That started my whole city exclusive collection, and then in 2024 I got 3 more. So I did travel twice this year, but the one that I didn't get myself is this one. It's the Hong Kong exclusive. My friend got it for me for my birthday when she went Hong Kong, and she actually wrote Pearl on it because my Chinese name does have Pearl. This one I actually haven't sprayed as much. Maybe it's because I didn't actually go to Hong Kong myself to get it. This one definitely smells like the most mature out of the bunch. I feel like this one's not very me. When I go China or when I go Hong Kong, I'm gonna bring this one with me and it will be my scent there. But I will say that these two I've gotten so many compliments on. So the first one is Citron 28, which is the Seoul exclusive. I got my name in Korean on it. This one is very citrusy, like the name says. It's very fresh, and actually with my color analysis they said I suit like more citrus scents, so this one was just like perfect. This one I don't spray as much. I feel like this one's very like a summer type of scent, but again, this one I get a lot of compliments on. This one too, this one I love as well. I feel like after Gaiac 10, the Tokyo, I love the LA city exclusive. It's a little bit more like sultry. It's giving autumn vibes to me. It's very warm and powdery. It's almost like the Chanel No. 5 had like an older sister or something. It's very sexy. I don't know. I love this fragrance, and this one I also get a lot of compliments on. I've noticed that with Le Labo, it's something that I spray but I don't smell it after like 10 minutes, but other people can. And it's something that I've always gotten, especially with Gaiac 10 and the LA exclusive. These two, my favorites, I love. But that was a wrap on 2024. My next video is going to be my end of year declutter. However, I don't know if that's gonna go up before the end of the year. It might be at the beginning of the year. So this might be my last video of 2024. I genuinely just want to thank you guys so much for all of the support you guys have shown me, you know, with my collab with Odin's Eye in the beginning of the year, and then also this year being my 10-year anniversary on YouTube. I feel like I have the best community. You guys are always so supportive, so positive, uplifting, truly. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this for 10 years if it wasn't for you guys. Genuinely, this is my dream job, and this year has been so, I don't know what to say. I feel like 2023 for me was very emotional. I think a lot of things happened where like it was the first time I had like an emotional breakdown. So I feel like 2023 was just a lot for me emotionally, and I feel like this year in 2024, I really grown to like learn a lot about myself, and it's things that like I kind of always knew, but something about 28, I know 28, I'm so young. I know when I'm like 32, I'm gonna look back, I'm like, 28 girl, what did you know? But this is me living through it. I feel like something switched when I turned 28 this year. I don't know what it is, and I'm not someone that's like big on numbers. I'm not big on like resolution. I feel like if you want to change, you change now. You don't have to wait for a certain number or a certain year or a certain day. But for some reason, I really felt a switch this year. I don't want to say like 2025 is gonna be the year, because genuinely there's a lot of things that I'm a bit scared for 2025, if I'm being honest. I don't know how the year's gonna go, and it's not something I want to think about. It's not the energy I want to put out, but I think overall this year has been really good. I was able to travel. I saw 17, came out with a makeup collection. Like, I feel like this year was really great. It was really busy, and I feel like because of that I was stressed, but I think when I look back on it, it was really great. It was a really good year, a really solid year, I feel, and I just feel so grateful. Like, my gratitude is so strong that like I don't even know how to like express it or like wrap it into words. It's just something I'm feeling so heavily this year. I have a lot of things planned for next year. It's gonna be another busy year for sure, but a very exciting year, and I hope everything does go well. And I'm sending you guys all of my love. As much as you guys support me, know that, you know, I support you, even though I don't know you guys as well as you know me. It's very parasocial, but genuinely I'm always wishing you guys the best. You guys truly have been there for me. Like, I'm gonna be 29 next year, you guys. It's gonna be my last year of my 20s, and I've done my entire 20s online, like with you guys, which is crazy. It's a crazy thing, you guys. I'm excited to see what's in store for us, and I hope you guys will stick around to see all of that. A lot of exciting things, okay? I'll just leave it at that, but again, thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have shown me. I love you so much. With that being said, I'll see you guys in 2025. Bye!